Hey friends, welcome back to the Chow Show, where every Sunday I share with you business and finance news that I'm following and I think you should know. This week we have a $1 billion Aussie company on the brink of collapse, Twitter launching new products, Netflix launching short videos, and Shark Tank star Kevin O Leary jumping into Bitcoin. But before we jump into it, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Twitter has announced a new feature called Super Follow. Super Follow will allow Twitter users to charge their followers and provide additional content. Think OnlyFans or Patreon, but for Twitter. The additional content could be bonus tweets, access to a community group, special deals and discounts, or even a subscription to a newsletter. There's no concrete details yet about what Super Follow entails, but Twitter did share a mock-up of what the feature would look like. The example showed a user charging $4.99 per month to their followers, and they would receive a series of different perks. Twitter sees this as a way for creators and publishers to get directly paid by their fans. Back in February, Twitter also announced another feature called Spaces. Essentially, it's their version of Clubhouse. Spaces will allow users to create live audio chat rooms. It's currently still in beta phase and only a select number of Twitter users have access to create Twitter Spaces. My key takeaway from this is that Twitter is releasing product after product in order to compete with the dominant Facebook and Google, while at the same time fending off new social media platforms like Clubhouse. And it seems the strategy has won the approval of the markets, with Twitter's share price hitting an all-time high of $77.63 on Monday this week. Netflix has decided to jump into short videos. The streaming giant has launched a TikTok-like feed called Fast Laugh, and it's filled with funny videos and clips. It's currently only available in select countries and only on the Netflix iOS app. Users can watch, react, or share the short, funny clips. Right now, the short clips are sourced from Netflix comedy content, including films like Murder Mystery, series like Big Mouth, sitcoms like The Crew, and even clips from stand-up comedians like Kevin Hart or Ali Wong. From the Fast Laughs feed, users can directly watch the show or movie that the clips are being sourced from, or they can add it to their playlist so they can watch it later. My key takeaway from this is that every company has realized the power of short-form videos, and Netflix is strategically using its own content instead of getting users to create it. Will this rival TikTok? Probably not, but it will likely increase user engagement and act as a great tool for discovering new content on Netflix. An Australian global lender named Greensill Capital is on the brink of collapse. Greensill Capital was started by Lex Greensill, who grew up on Australia's largest sweet potato farm in Bundaberg. The farmer turned billionaire businessman started Greensill Capital as a supply chain financing company.
A what?
Supply chain finance is a way for large companies to provide an alternative payment to their suppliers. Let's use one of Greensill's clients as an example, in this case, Telstra. In this example, Telstra will offer a supplier the option to receive the payments that they're owed earlier, but at a slight discount. It's up to the supplier to decide whether it's more important to receive the money earlier, say in a week's time, but at a slight discount, or if they'd rather wait for a longer period, say 60-90 days, to receive the full amount. So Greensill acts as a middleman. They'll come in and purchase the invoice from the supplier at a slight discount. Then they'll turn it around to Telstra and they'll say, hey, I want my full amount at a later date that Telstra and Greensill have agreed to. So let's say hypothetically the invoice was for $100. Well, Greensill can go to the supplier and say, hey, I want to purchase this invoice for $90. Then they'll go to Telstra and say, hey, I want to receive the full $100 at a later date that both you and I agree on. In this example then, Greensill has made a profit of $10. Now Greensill could have just taken the margin that they made, in this example the $10, but instead the company took those repayment agreements and they securitized the debt and turned them into financial products, which they then sold to investors. So why is Greensill in trouble and on the verge of collapse? Well, this week Greensill's insurance providers allow policies covering more than $4 billion US in assets to expire. This caused one of Greensill's main funders, investment bank Credit Suisse, to freeze $13 billion in funding. To make matters worse, Greensill's other major source of funding, Swiss asset manager GAM Holding, also pulled the plug this week. My key takeaway from this is if Greensill does in fact become bankrupt, this could cause thousands of Australians who are either employed directly by Greensill or connected to companies related to Greensill to lose their jobs. Currently, Greensill estimates around 7,000 jobs to be at risk. And in this week's Crypto Corner, Canadian businessman and Shark Tank star Kevin O Leary has decided to change his mind about Bitcoin. In a recent tweet, he announced that he will be allocating 3% of his portfolio to the cryptocurrency. This is a huge about face for Kevin O Leary because he used to call digital assets crypto crap and said Bitcoin was a quote, giant nothing burger. But now it seems like he is a true believer and he's even hopped onto the laser eyes meme. If you're not familiar with the laser eyes trend, believers in Bitcoin have added laser beams shooting from their eyes on their Twitter profile photos. And they're gonna keep it like that until Bitcoin hits $100,000. My key takeaway from this is that we're going to keep hearing more and more investors change their mind as they do more research and due diligence on Bitcoin. Then they'll start allocating a small percentage of their portfolio into the cryptocurrency. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button and also make sure to subscribe for a new video every Sunday where I share with you business and finance news that I'm following and I think you should know. As always, an important disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor, this is not financial advice. This video and my channel is for general information only. As with anything in life, you should do your own due diligence and seek independent advice.